Good morning. So today's topic is one childhood memory that was positive about camping and or one childhood memory that was negative about camping. So I'll go first. I'll do my positive. The positive about camping. So my grandparents RV'd. My grandparents had a Winnebago when I was a kid. I remember this big boxy Winnebago, and we would go up to the lake near them when we stayed with them, and it was always really cool. Now, my grandmother didn't let us shower in the Winnebago. We had to use the bathhouse, which I think some people still do today. They don't shower in their rigs. They rather use the bathhouse. Nothing wrong with that. We use ours. But we would have shower shoes, and we'd take our towels and our little she'd make these little bags. We'd take our shampoo and stuff like that in these little bags. Anyway, it was always so cool because we would, have sandwiches on the picnic table, and we were at the lake, and it was just very fond memories of that. My grandparents also had they must have go to this lake all the time because they had a pontoon boat there. So we'd drive to the lake and the pontoon boat would be there. I don't know the logistics. They would just be there. And my granddad would put on a captain's hat and we'd go on the pontoon boat. So that was kind of fun. It wasn't a lot of experiences because, we moved around, so we military brat here. But the times we did have were very memorable, and it was just kind of cool. You had your house on wheels. I mean, that was just cool, So that was one of the positives. Negative camping. So I was experiencing Girl Scouts. So we went camping, and it was it was a tent with the wooden floors. I don't know how you explain those, what you call those, but it was a tent. It was a canvas tent, but it had wooden raised floors, and it had cots in them. So it was like 4 cots inside of one tent. So that we went there, and I was so excited. Brought a sleeping bag that was not really weatherproof. It was more like a sleeping bag for in the home. It was fabric on the outside, so obviously do absorption. And brought a flashlight and had batteries, and there was an outhouse. It was my first experience with like an outhouse. A true outhouse. And so here I go with this Holly Hobby sleeping bag. I'm dating myself again. Holly Hobby sleeping bag and a flashlight. And I had my flannel nightgown. And it rained. And of course, in the midst of the rain, I had to go to the little girl's room and experience the outhouse at night in the rain. And it was muddy. I slipped. I fell in the mud. Whole front of my flannel nightgown, sopping wet, muddy. We were supposed to have buddies when we went anywhere. Obviously, I did not because it was the middle of the night. I'm crying. I did make it to the outhouse, which was scary in itself. If you've ever been in an outhouse where that hole, is there an animal in that hole? So that was an experience of itself because there was no flush. Anyway. So when I get back to the tent, everybody's asleep in my tent. I climb back in the bed. This was the first night. Climb back in the bed and I'm covered in mud. So, of course, the rest of the camping weekend, I had mud inside of my sleeping bag, which is also now moisture wicking the whole environment. So it was kind of damp. So, yeah, my nightgown, wet, damp, muddy. My sleeping bag, wet, damp. Wasn't the best trip, but I did learn something from that trip that I really liked, being out in the nature, like out in the woods. Like, I really did like it. Now, I was cold, wet, miserable. I think I cried more than one time. It was my very first experience. And again, it wasn't so great. So, as you can see, that's two spectrums of the timeline of how experience-wise, how it could be good and it could be bad. So the one thing I am thankful for is that I didn't let the one bad experience, I guess, impact me, other than be prepared and give it another shot. So I did. We gave it another shot. My husband and I often would go tent camping. And again, like I've told you before, we go up Cheehaw Mountain, and it's always within the fall, winter, time frame. So it was cold and we slept so good. The sleeping bags were appropriate for the outdoors. The bathhouse was not far away and was lighted, and it was a real true bathhouse. But we enjoyed that. And then obviously now we're in the RV camper life. Not quite to where Grandpa was with his drivable Winnebago, but we have a fifth wheel, so we are totally enjoying that now. So all to say, growing up, all of that impacts you. So what's your stories? Let me know. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.